So anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about makerspaces today. It's a space where I call it a technology playground, where we are, at least. And it's just an area where we have common things that we all work on and dream and create things. Last year, I was actually late on the due date for the grant proposal, but I had an idea. It was for the Innovation grant. And I said, well, normally, like the first year I got it, it was mostly tablets. And I wanted to study tablets when they first came out. And so it was very specific. So this time I was like, I want a space where I have a lot of things where people can come in and have openness to where they can innovate. So I started figuring out, okay, I'm going to start buying stuff. The first thing is obviously the 3D printer. That's a huge kind of draw to the lab. The one we bought is open source. The developer of this one actually lives a block away from my house.
Oh my goodness.
So it was actually designed in Sweden, but built in St. Pete. Put us on the Google map. I don't know if you guys know this, but this was a project of mine a couple years ago, where you've all used Google Maps, I'm sure, where it brings you to the door. But what happens if you get lost inside the buildings, right? So we actually mapped the interior of this whole campus. And so we actually got the Innovation Lab on there. So if you have your phone and you use Google Maps, and you bring in your phone into the map, you can actually zoom really in to the floor plan and get directions to and from different buildings. So anyway, we put that on the map. We get a lot of requests, believe it or not, to print or to capture 3D objects. So instead of buying something that does that, we started to try to figure out other ways to do it. Because it's one of those places where I don't have the money to just buy stuff. It's a place for us to go, all right, well, we have this problem, let's try to figure out a way to solve it together as a group. So the first time we had an artist come in with this piece of work, and we took about 60 photographs all around and then tried to render that in software. It didn't work. Then the same software, we put it on an iPad and tried to go around and capture it. That worked a little better. We were then able to get it in 3D. Then we've got a donation of a Microsoft Kinect. I'm sure you guys know what that is, right, for gaming, where we can now kind of scan our bodies or whatever. So our next project, I've been working with the digital design students. We're going to scan some heads and make Pez dispensers. Just come in and they want to do video. Well, we're not a video lab, but you know what? We're going to make one. We're going to figure out a way to make it work, and we did. So this student came in, we recorded him, did his audio and video through Pro Tools and through the iPad, and he was able to get a pretty sophisticated video for his electronic portfolio. Pretty cool. So our first workshop was to build an online file distribution system. We had one person in there that was kind of watching it, and I remember she was like, well, why don't you just go to a store and buy this? I'm like, yeah, but that defeats the whole purpose of learning how this stuff works. You know, we want to build it so we understand every little nuance of how it works. This lab also does game development workshops. We've done quite a few. We're getting ready to do a maker boot camp in the summer, which is going to be, I think, 6 weeks, and we're going to focus on game development. Then we're going to do 3D design and 3D printing. We're going to do robotics. We're going to do circuitry. The Innovation Lab also partnered, and we sponsored the Mid-Mouse Comic Con. Did any of you come to that last year? 3,500 people showed up. It wasn't like some little dinky thing, right? It turned into something huge. This whole place, this campus was packed. And so what we did is it was a Comic-Con, so all these people in costume and Star Wars people walking around, and we had special speakers and all this stuff. But we also made it into a MakerCon. So we had components of maker culture. So 3D printing people and robotics, we were in there as well. So really amazing stuff. The second one, we've changed it to Novelist Comic and MakerCon. That's going to be October 17th this year. And it's going to be bigger. And we got some good guests coming this year too. So for me, it's all about a place to play, a playground. Go in, don't worry about making mistakes, you know. We worry too much about grades, I think. I think we're just too concerned about, oh, I better get an A. And here, you know what? Come in, fail. I don't care. If you have an idea and you want to try it, do it.